late today from my live because my kids took my laptop cord and I had no battery. So we spent like 20 minutes looking for it. So, hi everyone, Tuesday live at 12 noon, The Fearless Woman. I'm sorry I'm a little late. I'm just going to wait for another minute or two for people to join. Remember that I am on StreamYard. So, because StreamYard allows me to go live in a great way. So I may not see your names, but I'll definitely see the comments. So again, my apologies for being a couple of minutes late. Today we are talking about, hello guys. Again, I'm sorry I can't see who's on there because again, I'm on StreamYard, but yay, hi. So let's fix my camera a little bit here. I think you can see it. Let's go like that. Okay, perfect. Okay, so today, first of all, I'm super excited because there's a lot of changes happening, bigger and better, all about impacting you to release the fearless woman that I know you are born to be. I went through my divorce. Rivka, gorgeous. Hi, sweetheart. I was married 20 years and in a very dysfunctional, toxic, unhealthy, compromising marriage. And I knew it, yet I stayed in it, right? This is our life story. And then finally, 5 years ago, I had the courage to leave him because, right, there comes a point in our marriages, guys, that, you know, we're here but the fear is here. So we want to leave, but man, that fear, it's just more in charge of us. So we just can't break through the fear, but there'll be a trigger. There'll be a threshold. There'll be a tipping point. There'll be something. I would love to hear what that is in the group if you guys want to do. Hi, Lisa family, cute. There'll be a time when the fear will no longer matter. And you're going to just break. You're just going to go bam. You're going to just break right through that fear because your need for freedom, your need for happiness, your need for peace, your need for independence, for sanity, whatever it is, becomes greater than the fear. So you do it anyway, right? So when we leave our husbands, and that's right there, if you need evidence to prove your worth, if you're a woman that questions if she has worth and if she's strong and able, just that evidence right there of breaking up with your spouse, leaving your husband and saying the fear is here, but you're like, you know, I'm out of here. And you do it scared, right? You do it, you're scared, but you do it anyway. Guys, that's right there. Simple evidence, black and white, that you're strong, that you're capable, and that you can do it. And we do it scared, and that's okay. There's a concept I call failing forward. I heard that once in a podcast. It's called failing forward. Like, you don't know what you're doing, and I'm sure, you know, those couple of years that we, you know, leave our husbands and we go through that breakup, it's a disaster. It's like your whole entire life, right? You have all your needs and your family and community and work and job and structure and the kids and all that. And when you go and you make that decision that we're breaking up, whether it's from him or from you together, your entire identity of who you are, it collapses like true 9/11, the Twin Towers. Like, I know that's how I felt. I shattered. I shattered into a million. Failing forward is in my writing, beautiful. I shattered into a million pieces. And what's so hard, but so emboldening, you know, it's both. It's pain and pleasure, right? That point of pain and pleasure is you get to rebuild as a woman on your own. Like, now we're smarter. Now we're a little bit older. We have more experience. We're like, there's no such thing as, you know, Snow White and Cinderella. We kind of know it. We're no longer in our 20s. Most of us got married in our 20s. So we become a grown woman. I call us grown women here, like, especially once we have kids. We're grown women. So we have to, you know, do it scared. It's not I can't. It's how can I? It's not that I can't. It's that you must. These are the things that we just have to do. You know, we have a feminine side of us, and I talk a lot about this. We have this sweet, mushy, yummy feminine side in us, and of course we have that. We're women, guys. Like, we don't have to be, we shouldn't be hard on ourselves. Of course, we're women. We're creators of life. We create life. Have you ever really thought about it? Like, our bodies every month for like 40 years, from when we're like 12 or 13 to our 50s, every month the body prepares for the creation of a child. So another evidence and true fact of worth. Because a lot of women feel so helpless, feel so hopeless, feel so overwhelmed, feel so lost, feel like their world has shattered, are so afraid, are frightened. What man will love me? How am I going to make it? How am I going to get through it? Don't worry about the macro right now. That is overwhelming. I shut down too. But what I learned, instead of thinking so big, I went deep into me. Like, it's not macro. Yes, the big picture is always macro, but when we're in this, what I call the acute phase, when we're in this phase of we were hit by a truck, we're in the emergency room, and now maybe we're in ICU or maybe we're going to rehab, kind of depends where you are in your divorce process. It's not a macro, it's total micro. That's why I push so hard to be selfish. And I'm not saying selfish like be mean and nasty, but I'm saying say no, have boundaries. If you're tired, don't make dinner, order pizza. Have cereal, scrambled eggs for dinner with your kids. You know, I know this one woman, she's so depleted. She works 60 hours a week, 6 days a week, and she does all the laundry, and she cleans the house, and she cooks 3 different dinners every night. And then she wonders why her body is in agony. She's exhausted and in agony. I see it clearly, but she just thinks that's what she needs to do. No, no, no. You know, guys, you not just you, I did this too. We make up rules. We make up these rules in our head of how things should be. And I'm here to tell you that that's just not true. It's not true. See, we made these rules of how it should be, or how the way should be, and this is what should happen, and this is what should, and all these rules. And you know what? That is like your own prison cell. We all know now that we've gone through a divorce, or that we're in the divorce, that we can look back and observe and say, you know, why did we stay? So a lot of the reasons that we stay is because, again, we created these rules. We can't do it. We'll never make it alone. It's not the right thing. My kids, the community, what will my friends think, my family. I spoke to this woman yesterday that she comes from an ethnic, so grateful for you. Thank you, my yum yum. I'm sorry I don't see your name here on StreamYard, so I apologize for that. But you're gorgeous. You're gorgeous. She said it took her 2 years to tell her parents. Can you imagine, like, because she's Indian background, and that's old school from her parents. She was so afraid. Imagine being so afraid of telling the truth, that you want to be free, that the marriage isn't working, you have to start over, and it takes you 2 years to tell your parents. Because it's not just you, again, it's me too. We create these things. It's called mind drama. We create these realities, which is really fantasies, actual nightmares. They're not even fantasies. I'd rather you have a fantasy, but instead you create your own nightmare, and you create this nightmare of what will happen. And then of course you shut down. How can you not? You're totally defeated. So, but these are rules that you have made. Let's just own that. Like, I realized that I created all these rules. And the best part of my transformation, when I left him, I call that period my caterpillar period. I was a caterpillar. And then when I left him for like a couple of years, I went into my own cocoon. And girlfriend, that was my cocoon. That wasn't yours. That wasn't his. That wasn't my parents. That wasn't my friends. It wasn't my boss. It was my cocoon. And I went deep into myself, which means I cut people out. I stopped sharing, because I realized one of my big issues too is I told everyone everything. And then of course they told me what they thought, and then I'd be heard. And I'm like, Revi, why are you even telling them? You're a grown woman. You're smart. You're capable. You are the only one that's going to know what's good for you. Make your own decisions. Why? And that's why I wanted to talk specifically today. Why is it that we need this validation, this affirmation from others? Like, somebody in the tribe posted this week, and it bothered me. And I'm like, okay, gotta talk about it. Because someone in the tribe said something like, they need to know how amazing I was. I just want to try to say, my besties here listening for the first time, I'm so proud of her. Yay! Lisa, if she's your bestie, she's like fabulous. She's special, because you're special. By the way, before I forget, I am starting a new concept. I actually always wanted to interview people on television. I've applied for a million jobs to be on TV, but they always turn me down. So you know what they say? If they won't see it, you got to do it yourself. So I want to do live interviews, just like I'm doing right now. You come into StreamYard, and I will show up on Facebook, and I want you to share your story. I want you to share your story. So, oh, she's amazing. Beautiful, Lisa. That's lovely. And that's what we're starting tomorrow, Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. I'm still trying to figure out the times. I have women from all over the globe. I don't know, Lisa, we may next month do it at 8 p.m. at night. For the month of July, we're going to do Wednesday at 1 p.m. I'm going to update my banner. You can always go to my banner to see kind of what's going on. Every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, my goal is to have a fearless woman share her divorce devastation to transformation story. And Lisa is going to be my first one doing it. So we're going to have like an interview and a live discussion where she talks about her journey. So check it out. And of course, it'll be saved on Facebook. And then I have another woman next week, Debbie, and another woman as well. And then maybe for the month of August, I may do it at night to see what's better. But anyway, let's go back to what that one woman said in one of the comments. So because I read everything. I'm paying attention. I'm watching you. Because if you start talking down about yourself, I'm going to come hunt you down, because fearless women are not allowed. Whoop, whoop, Lisa says. Fearless women are not allowed to negate themselves. That's like so ex-husband. Like that's so caterpillar. We're now in our cocoon, because the goal is for us to become a butterfly, because that's what we're going through. We are transforming ourselves. The caterpillar goes into a cocoon and then comes out as a gorgeous butterfly. So we're doing this shift. We're going from there to middle to forward. But I like to also understand that. I don't go there in a toxic level, negative level, but I do want to understand why all that happened, because if I'm not going to do that, there's a very good chance I'll repeat that. I know for me, that was very important to understand why I was in a compromised marriage, why I allowed my husband to speak to me that way, why I stayed with him for all those years and I couldn't leave him. Because I recognized that, yeah, it was him. Obviously, any person, and I know that's a lot of us, anyone will say, oh, it's him, him, him. I'm not disagreeing with that, but it doesn't help me, because I was still married to him for 20 years, right? So if I'm still married to him for 20 years, I'm half the problem. Something about him and something about that toxic, dysfunctional environment turned me on. It lit me up, made me feel alive, made me feel needed, made me feel wanted. Again, dysfunctional needs, that meaning because I was needy for that, right? So when you're needy to be needed, when you're needy to be loved, when you're needy for safety and security, you actually attract it in an unhealthy way. So I realized from all that drama that I had to be in my own cocoon and not ask them, what do people know about you? What do they know about you? Because when you ask them, so that's what this one woman said, she goes, they need to realize how great I am and, how important I am. No, they don't need to do anything. They don't need to do not one simple thing. Who do you think needs to say how important and how amazing you are, guys? Tell me. Who do you think? Why sometimes we have to go on without fully understanding the why. Right. Sometimes we do that. I agree with that. I do agree with that. But for me, it was important to understand. I needed to understand, because my concern of not understanding why I was in that type of a relationship, I was very concerned that I would repeat the same pattern. Because I also saw, I'm a visual person. I'm highly in tune with my senses. I'm a very strong empath, and I have a very strong sixth intuition with my emotions and feelings, and I observe very, very well. Go Lisa Tedder Rodriguez. She gets the prize of today, which is a big smooch. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Yes, answer to the question is, you have to realize how awesome and great you are. See, that's what happens. We keep going to him. We keep going to they. So first of all, any expectations we already know never work. But second of all, what happens when we do that? It means we're needy. We're needy. We're lackey. We're latchy. We're desperate. We're deficient. We're deficient in confidence. We're deficient in worth. Yes, we know that. That's why we're here. The question is why, and the question is how do we fix it? So the why comes down to a lot of issues from childhood. By the way, I'm launching a Fearless Woman Transformation Program. It's my first ever, and I'll talk about it at the end of this live, and you can check it out. Starts July 21st, my first ever inaugural one. I'm very excited about it. When we seek for others to validate who we are, when we seek affirmation of others to tell us who we are, it means one thing, that you don't have it. So right there, you have evidence that that's your lack. So the question is, why are you not looking at yourself for that? Lee says, my bestie, cute. The question is, why are you not looking at yourself to get that validation, that affirmation, that assurance? Why? It's based on limiting beliefs. I always say, you want to know what you really believe in? Look at your reality. That's fact. So if you have friends or relationships or drama or chaos, well, somehow deep down inside, you believe that's what you deserve. That's the truth. Even though I know you don't, you're like, I don't know that. I know for a fact he will never know how great he had it. Okay, so good. I don't know who said that. I know for a fact he will never know how great he had it. So that statement right there is all on him, right? That becomes all on him. And that doesn't help us. Now, we have to go through our stages of, there's 5 stages of loss. I don't know if you guys know about that, but the 5 stages of loss is very important because a divorce is a death. A divorce is a death, guys. And you have to mourn it properly. You have to give it that mourning. That's why it takes really around 2 years. I talk about 3 months, 6 months. I really believe the first 12 months are critical because it's the first Christmas, the first, Passover, the first Easter, the first July 4th, like we just had. There was, Terry was mentioning how difficult, although she's been through a few, but it was more difficult because of COVID. I mean, this year's just not even a normal year to begin with. But, there's the 5 stages of loss that, and you can look it up online. It's everywhere. Sometimes they even talk about 7 stages, but there's the denial and the bartering, which is usually what happens when we're still married. We're denying, we're bartering, dating, therapy, couples, blah, blah, blah. And then there's the anger. And then there's the anger is when you're like, you're this and you're that, and you don't know how good you have it and all that. It's a very normal phase. There's the phase of, I think I have a blog article on this. There's the phase of bartering, denial. By the way, not specifically in any order. I mean, there is an order, but we can oscillate. We can oscillate through all 5. And it can be years. I think my anger only came out last year, which is one of the reasons why I launched the tribe, because anger is fuel. As long as you use it in the right way. See, if you use anger to shoot the gun and, do the stabbing and blaming, that anger is not going to serve you. You might feel good about it for 5 minutes, but then you're not. You're not. It doesn't, but you have to go through the anger. I encourage you to use anger as that rocket ship fuel for your transformation. Yeah. Anger, think about it, guys. Anger is, it's invisible. But it's a force. See, we have energy. This is invisible, but it's real. Just like Terry the other day, or somebody said, like, the weight is lifted off my shoulders. What weight? There's no weight, but yet you feel it. It's wild stuff. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that I do at 2 a.m. I'm a little spooked out at myself, but I don't know what's happened to me in the last year. Like, I feel things and I see things that, I don't know, it's incredible. I'm loving it. So anger, again, is this energy. And so what a lot of us do is we fuel it at him, at the parents, at the this and that. I encourage you to use that for your transformation. Make that anger not about, he should acknowledge me. He should realize how great he had. No, it's you that actually has the lack. See, you actually have the lack, believe it or not. And that you may not see that yet, and that's okay. It's fine. You're in this program, so it's good. You're with me. But when you want somebody to see that, that's because you don't see it in yourself. So you seek validation from your husband, spouse, boyfriend, lover, blah, blah, friend, boss, doesn't matter, parents. It's because you don't have it. That's because you're needy for it. And it never works because like attracts like. So if you have neediness issues, you're going to attract that. Now, when you start building your own confidence by seeking evidence and proof that you have validation, whether it's through your own accomplishments, through just looking in the mirror, through going to the gym, through starting a business, to getting a divorce, to, I don't know, a little thing like planting, like that woman showed a beautiful crochet that she did. Like now you start building, you're pouring love into your own hearts. You're getting more confident. Now this thing, it doesn't even trigger you. You like, where are you? I'm not looking down. Hell friggin' no. I'm looking down. Never. I look straight and I look up. I don't look down. Hell no. It's not how you fall. It's, when you take that step, people think I'm going to fall. No, when you take that step, it's how far you'll fly. You're taking the step to fly. You're not taking the step to fall. This is all mindset. It's all mindset. They say we only use 10% of our brain, guys. What do you think the 90% is? It's energy. It's that energy, just like we have anger, just like we have, why is it when we get angry, we feel it here? We don't feel it in this part of my hypothalamus, pituitary, blah, blah part of my brain. It's here. Revi, my dad has told me my whole life how high needy I am. Heck yeah, I'm like how high need I am. Heck yeah, I am. I'm worthy. Right. But, but part of what he did, Lisa, I did he do it in a confidence building way, or did he put it in a I want to be careful with the words I use, like in a sabotage way? The thing is, when we have these guilt issues, guys, from our parents that make us feel bad about ourselves, do you know what I mean? He tore me down. There we go. So this is Lisa. So here's perfect. Okay. So let's use a concept that this is the work that I do in my transformation program that I'm launching end of the month. So I'm going to bring it up right now, Lisa, because it's so important. So here's what happened. So you have this memory of how he knocked you down. So what's happening is that you feel like, yeah, I'm worthy, I have it, but really deep down, Lisa, the truth is you feel torn. He tore you down, you're down. So you saying I have worth, you show up with worth, you're confident, you're doing all that, and that was also my life story, my marriage. But at home and truly inside, I didn't feel it, because my marriage and my life, my relationship, the most intimate thing we have, guys, is our relationship with our man, with our lover, with our spouse. That tells you everything about you, everything about your worth. So when you have that, that means, Lisa, you have these guilt issues and feeling not worthy. So here's the paradigm shift. The paradigm shift is to recognize that that's not true. That just because dad said that, that's on dad. See, we make these interpretations. Like we interpret, we're like, oh, dad said this about me, so that means I'm this way and that's true. That's not true. But you have to acknowledge that. See, Lisa, you have to, it's not even no more, and no more is good, but you have to, Lisa, sorry, I'm looking at your notes and not on the camera. Lisa, you have to go to that time and dispute it, because you have made a limiting belief interpretation that dad was right. See, guys, because when we're small, we don't think for ourselves. We are influenced by parents, family, schools, teachers, etc. That's how powerful the download is when we're kids. But as grown women, we can choose otherwise. As grown women, we can refute that. So it's not enough to just say and do and even believe, because the limiting belief is so firmly implanted in you from that's what it is. So you and your whole people tore you down, right? So I know a lot of it, Lisa. You've done a lot of good work and you have boundaries and all that. But the first thing, Lisa, that you talked about was your dad. That was your visceral answer. Like that came through right away, and it's very typical with women and dads. By the way, this is not always. Sometimes it can be with moms too. There's a lot of women that have issues with their moms too. But that's how important a relationship is with a girl and her dad, right? Because that's really our first love affair, right? That's really our first. Lisa, you're going to do my program and we'll do it together. This is the stuff that I did. I did that. Lisa's asking, how do you go back and change it? It's all in the mind work. So it's a lot of visualization. We go back non-emotional. Like if you're still going back to those child events, guys, and you're crying and you're like crying and it's painful, then go to a therapist, go to a psychologist. because that's other stuff. But if you're able to be a grown-up and look back there as an observer and assess that, not with a, oh my God, you know, but you're like, okay, I want to observe, I want to understand, I want to figure out, I want to knock that out of the ballpark. When you're able to go that assessment, we can work together. I can't do it if you're going to be very hysterical about it. That means you still probably need more psychological counseling, which I'm not. I'm just, you know, a fearless woman who's shown up and who worked a process through various things that I did. I read certain books. I took certain online testing. These are all things that I'm going to share in my program. I'll go later. I'll do a video on that probably later today, or maybe even at the end of this live. But that's basically what we do, Lisa. We have to recognize this. So what happens? We're so deeply rooted in a limiting belief that was implanted for us, because when we're little, guys, we don't get to make our own decisions. We just don't. But we have a lot of feelings. So, you know, we don't make the thoughts. The family and the parents make the thoughts. We have feelings, which is very normal. But what happens? We then interpret those feelings to say something really bad about us. And that's so deeply implanted, it becomes your reality. And even as a grown woman, you're like, I'm worthy, I'm strong, I make money, blah, 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 which was my story. I launched my own recruiting firm. I was interviewed live on Fox Business. Chicago Tribune quoted me. I was like showing up, but it didn't matter. It didn't matter because this had no worth. I deep inside did not have worth. And my whole marriage, I was so struggling and fighting, because at the end of the day, part of the true fearless woman in me wanted so much to be who I knew I wanted to be, but I couldn't. So what was this it? So this comes a lot with limiting beliefs that are implanted for us. And once you start breaking through, now again, it's not going to happen overnight. There's no magic pill. It's like going to the gym, right? When we go to the gym, we start, oh my gosh, we're kindred spirits. I know, Lisa, I have big visions for you, by the way, in my tribe. We're just getting warmed up because I have big visions what I want to do, guys. The fearless woman on a micro level is to really, you know, work with divorced women, to empower and inspire every single divorced woman to know her worth and to find true love again. That's really on a micro level. But on a macro level, it's to empower all women to know their worth. Girls, daughters, little girls. Because I realized I couldn't do macro, right? You guys know me already. Macro is great. We got to have the macro, but you got to work on the micro first. Of course, Lisa, you're already helping. You got to work on the micro first. So for me, the micro comes with women, with moms. So we got to first do our work. It's just like the oxygen mask, right? A lot of women in the group have said, I want to show my kids. I want to show my kids. Yeah, but first you got to show yourself. Like, the kids are yummy and delicious, guys. Our children, God bless each and every one of our children. I mean, I love my sons, like, you know, check mark. I mean, if nothing else, guys, we have children. A lot of us in here have kids. So that in itself, once again, more validation and evidence of worth, of success, of you know, impact. There's a lot of validations out there. You're just not seeing them because you're very broken right now and you're very scared and you're frightened. So you find that validation, right? It's like if I tell you, this comes from Tony Robbins. If you go to a parking lot and I tell you count all the brown cars, you'll come back, you'll count the brown cars, the beige cars, and even the cream cars. But if I say to you how many red cars are out there, you're gonna be like, I wasn't looking for red. And I'll say, exactly. That came from Tony Robbins. And I read that, or, you know, heard that years ago. And I'm like, it's about seeking evidence for your theory. So that's what happens. Now, some of it is subconscious and some of it isn't. So once you start recognizing that your reality is not what you want it to be, you then realize that you have limiting beliefs that have subconsciously led you to that. But now, because we're grown women and we can think for ourselves, we are now able to seek new evidence to verify that we are women of worth, that we do validate ourselves. We don't need him and her to know how great I am. We don't need him to know what he missed out on. Like, that doesn't serve me. That to me is it's just toxic. I don't want to go there. You guys know me. I'm about love. I'm a big musher. I'm one big heart. So I work from a point of love. And my number one person that I'm going to love, which is the number one person we love first, guys. Who is the number one person we love first? Who do we have to love first in order to have truly transformation? Who? Anyone? Lisa? Who do you love first? I got like, I think 5 people on here. You got to love yourself. Even if you don't like yourself, it's okay. I want to help cute. I know, I saw that earlier, actually. You got to love yourself, guys. And you may not, right, Lisa, me. So you may not like yourself, but you know, you need to just love yourself. And when you start there, me, that's right. That's where it starts. And that's when we go into the cocoon. So the cocoon is all about me. It's not about him seeing how much he missed out. It's not about them seeing how great I am. No, it's about me going into me and understanding where my lack is, where my neediness is. And that comes from limiting beliefs. And it also comes from a lot of dysfunction that you're not addressing and I talk a lot about the framework of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. To me, it is like the alphabet. It's like counting 1 to 10. Yourself. It isn't selfish to love yourself, nor is it conceited, right? See, isn't it amazing how you right away have to justify that because people say, oh, you know, when I come first, that makes me conceited. And so who made that up? So, you know, here's a perfect example. Where did that thought come from? Lisa says, it isn't selfish to love yourself, nor is it conceited. Lisa, where did you hear that? Where did you hear that? See, so that's the struggle we have. So we end up having this struggle between we want to be selfish and think of ourselves, but we have this thing inside that's saying, wait a minute, but that means you're being selfish, right? That's the one who doesn't want to take care of you. That's being selfish. That means you're conceited. That's not a thought that you had. That's a thought that was given to you. I used to think I was conceited. If I love myself, then I went to rehab. See, so that is exactly what Lisa thought of herself, because that word conceited, you know, by the way, Lisa, I never once thought of myself as conceited. So these words but either you heard it growing up, someone told you, oh, when you think of yourself, you're conceited, or that's the interpretation you made. You made an interpretation because you felt bad when you wanted something for yourself, or you felt good about yourself, and maybe dad or somebody said, oh, you're such high maintenance, you're this and that. So you make this interpretation of what that moment really was all about, and it's not true. Who are you at 10 years old, 12 years old, 8 years old to make an interpretation about something? Yet that's exactly what happens. And that the reason it happens is because a download is given to us by our parents, family, friends. Now I love myself more than ever. It's amazing. By the way, Lisa, I know you do because I see it. I see the glow. We talked about it. So your last element, which of course happens to be I do 6 modules in my course. The very last one is the guy. See, because we break up with our husbands, and I remember that's what happened to me. I broke up with my husband. I'm like, that's it. My husband, I'm like, I need to get married right away. I am so not getting married. But at the time I was like, I need to get married. And he's going to be X, Y, and Z. I made a list of 50 things on a piece of paper of what I wanted and needed and demanded. And the only thing I can think of was the guy. Actually, that's the last part of the equation. The guy can only really be assessed and sought after, if you want to call it, or attracted, whatever, the minutia of that, once you have gone into your cocoon and addressed your issues. See, you can address your needs and still date. We're grown women, guys. We're not freaking 10 years old. So you could do both. It's the awareness that I bring out to you. It's the awareness, because that transformation does take a couple, it does take a couple years, because what happens is just like going to the gym. You don't see the results right away, but all of a sudden you're going to be like, wow, like I don't really have a need for that. Like I just said no without explaining why I said no. You know, the other day somebody asked me to, a couple of weeks ago, I was invited to a wedding, and between you and me, didn't like the people. And honestly, I didn't want to write the check either, because, you know, Jewish tradition also, you write a nice check. And I just said, you know what? I'm just going to tell them I can't go. I'm not going to say why, right? We always say, I can't go because my family's coming in from out of town or this and that. I just said, I'm sorry, I can't make it. And it was uncomfortable. And the fact that it was uncomfortable made me realize that it was a needy issue, and which is why I did it all the more so. See, when it's uncomfortable to do something, that's when you got to do it, because that's the change. You're going to that space that you've never done before. It's like riding that bicycle. Like you want to ride it, but how do you do it? I'm working on myself. Somebody's writing, and I'm sorry, my lovey, that I can't see your name. I'm working on my self-worth, currently going through a divorce from my narcissistic husband. He drained the life out of me. Need to work on myself now. Love everything about that. And yes, the reason he drained the life out of you is because, unfortunately, narcissistic people have a big hole in their bucket. And it's the perfect storm. I call that in my course the perfect storm. So when you have a narcissist who whatever, who has a big hole in their bucket, and they just want to inhale you, absorb you, take you as their arm, or they want to have you as a third arm. And what happens, because he's needy, okay, he has issues, narcissists have major issues, they attract us. It's the perfect love affair, by the way. It's just friggin' textbook. It's like oil and vinegar, salt and pepper. It just goes together horribly, dysfunctionally, but it does. So what happens, because we have such needs to be needed, we have such a need to be wanted, we have such a need to be desired, to be taken care of. And this guy is so full of life, right? Narcissist, full of life, gregarious, confident, cocky, arrogant, sexy, dangerous. Like you're like, oh, wow. We're so turned on by it. And we go right there. And all we do is we keep filling his bucket, filling his bucket, filling his bucket, more and more. And it's never enough because he's got such a hole in his bucket that it doesn't matter how much we give him. It just pours right out. And then he just wants more, and he just wants more, and he takes more. And we give him more, and he takes more, and we give him more. And then one day we're like, I'm out of battery. There's nothing left. Because the problem with a narcissist and a giver like you, and it's really codependent, Andrea, she understands that. The problem, guys, this was my story. Like, why do you think we're all together? Because the bulk of us have similar stories, okay? So what happens, this is really also, I talk about this in my program, but I'm going to tell you guys now too, because I love you guys and I want you to be empowered by it. We are givers, and there's nothing wrong with giving. I love giving. Like right now, I give, right? I mean, I've been doing this now 6-7 months. I have not, I've made some money, of course, in my private coaching, which I don't do anymore, and I'm doing the group. But I'm all about giving because I have a need to give. I must give because that's what makes me feel good. So do you understand why I give? I give not, and I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, I'm not giving to you for you. I'm giving to you for me. It's much like having children. We love our children. We don't get that love back from our kids, right, guys? But we give them because it makes us feel so good as a mother. This is the same concept. The problem stems when we give to a narcissist, to a taker, to a vampire energy. Because if that person's not giving you back, you won't make it. You won't make it. You will get to the point, like she said, drained. Look at her words. I'm sorry I can't say your name because I don't see it on StreamYard. The words are so powerful. Drained the life of me. These are words that people say. They say escape from my marriage. They use the word escape. That I understand that. I felt like I escaped. I actually saw myself as a horse out of a gate. I was finally free, and it took me almost a year. I almost saw myself as that horse. Right at the end of that year, I was grazing the grass. I was finally, I was so cooped up. I was like, I was in a prison cell. So 100% Lisa says, so I couldn't put it any better. Thank you, Lovey. I don't know who that is, but thank you for that. But drained the life out of me. So there's a famous Buddhist saying, I love this. I should try and find it on Pinterest and post it in the group. We're like flowers. We're a beautiful flower with lots of roses and petals. So when a man comes into our life, a man that likes us will pluck the flower, put it in a vase, and a week later the flower dies, right? That's a taker. That's a one who likes us. Taker. Because we're a beautiful flower. We're giving beauty. We're giving a yummy smell. We're giving life. A little bees come to us, right? We're givers. Take our pollen, take our smell, take our beauty, right? That's us. We're the flower. Rose. I like sunflower. Sunflower is my favorite flower. That's us. So we, because we're such givers and we so badly need to be needed, we so badly need somebody to notice us and love us, to the beautiful woman that we are. We're just dying to show you. Here we are, the flower. And then, of course, because we're so needy for that, here comes the narcissist, toxic, you know, hyena, the predator. I call it predator because they are predators. They love us. Oh, we're so yummy for them because they're like perfect bait, because they have their own issues and trauma. Trust me, I know they do. I don't really care about him. So they come and what do they do? They pluck our rose. Now imagine a lover, a man who truly is a total giver. Sunflowers are my favorite. My Jeep is decked out in sunflowers. I love sunflowers. The right man, the healthy man, the good man, the giver, not the man who takes, who drain the life, the one who's going to pour life. He's going to come and see our sunflower, and you know what he's going to do? He's going to be like, she needs sun, so he's going to make sure we get sun. She needs water. He's going to pour water into our little plant. She needs vitamins. He's going to go to Home Depot and buy vitamins and puts vitamins in our little mud. He's going to smell the flower and say, wow. He's not going to pluck. He's going to keep us in our earth, in our state, and he's going to shower us with love. That's a giver. So when we give, and I want you to give because I know giving makes you feel so good, and I know that it's very important for me to give. But Lisa, absolutely one day. But see, Lisa, that's part of your thing. Like you were so needy to give and to love that you attracted a guy who took. So we have to recognize that once we show up with worth and confidence of who we really are, we will attract the man that will give back to us. We want givers. See, we're so used to the takers because that's what's sexy and exciting and dangerous, and I'll change him and I'll rescue him and I'll fix him and I'll show him and vomit. It doesn't work. They drain, as what did she say? Drain the life out of us. I was at the point right at the end of my marriage, I felt that spiritually and emotionally, I was a dead man walking. I remember like a few weeks before I finally left him, I'm like, if this is how I need to live for the rest of my life, I would rather be dead. That is truly how I broke through my fear. I came to the conclusion that I would rather be 6 feet under than continue. How screwed up is that? How screwed up? That's really screwed up. Now, I mean, I can say that now 5 years later, but if you're in that, like, I get you. So the goal is to recognize that we have to attract not just men, women, friends, family, work environments that give to us. They have to water us. They can't pluck our roses. They can't pluck our sunflowers. If anyone's plucking your sunflower, guys, they gotta go. Just like somebody said in that video, I think it was from Michelle, they hand us the scissors. These people have handed us the scissors, but it's up to us to cut. It's always up to us. The onus is on us. And at that point, you then recognize, okay, if I'm a big giver, that means I'm needy to receive. That's the ironies. Like, you're giving so much. You know why you're giving so much? It's because you need so much. So again, you're latchy, you're needy, you're deficient, so you're attracting that. So once you start building that, little steps, having hot baths, like it's the Starbucks. Like, you think I'm silly? Some people are like, Revy, it's so expensive. No, girlfriend, I love this. Like the other day, my son ordered Indian food. He texted me and he goes, Mom, I'm ordering Indian food. Would you like that? I'm like, my God. Like, I still observe it. The flower was a great analogy and love the interpretation. Andrew, it's a famous Buddhist saying, when you like a flower, you pluck it. But when you love a flower, you nurture and water it. It's from Buddha. I follow this way of thought. It's what it is. You can't have people plucking your flowers. You won't make it. You won't make it. You need to be around people that nurture your flowers, that don't pluck. Pluckers are likers. We want lovers. We want lovers. So anyway, guys, 45 minutes. Like, how the hell does that happen? that I spoke for 45 minutes. I wanted to do it for 15 minutes and I spoke for 45 minutes. So anyway, we're done for today. So just so you guys know, I want to talk about my Fearless Woman Transformation Program. I'm going to post a link. I have never done this program ever. So it's very exciting. I have, obviously I wonder how it's going to work, but it is what it is. I'm passionate about it because it worked for me. And I know that each of you desire that form of transformation. So that's all I need to know. Like if you desire it, you're going to have it. But if you don't desire it, then the program's not for you. And it is my inaugural program. You will officially be my OG program, Fearless Women. So you'll be grandfathered into the program because as I develop it, probably next year, I'm going to most likely switch it out to a membership fee on a monthly level, which whoever signs up in this first batch, because I need your feedback, you will not have to pay that membership fee that I'm going to do next year, which you'll be like, grandfather, that's the word, grandmothered. You're going to be grandmothered into it. So that's for the first group of people that that do the program with me. I'm also charging, I have a promo. It's supposed to be $600. I'm doing it for $300. We're starting it. I'm in. Cute. I don't know who it is, but it says Facebook user. It is going to be 6 modules. I'm going to post the link in the Facebook when we're done. I think it's already under fearlesswoman.co/transformation program. We're covering 6 concepts. So it's over 6 weeks. I'm in also. Cute. Over 6 weeks. I start. Oh, snap. Heck yeah. Cute. Over 6 weeks. The first, July 21st. I started at 2 p.m. Eastern. I'm still really trying hard to figure out times. My vision for this program is to teach the program during the day and also at night. I think I'm going to offer it probably the next round. The next round will be more money. This round I'm doing it just for $300. Proof of concept. Like I want to hear from you what was good and what you need more, maybe what wasn't good. I'm going to need your feedback. But first session is the hardest one. The first module, July 21st. It's about needs. It's really the hardest concept. We may need to spend more than an hour and a half on there. I don't know. But we talk about needs and how I went through. So that's module 1. Module 2 is fear. We really address fear. I know I had a lot of fears. Module 3 is worth. We talk about worth, how to tap into worth, how to seek it, how to validate it, etc., and how to own it. The 4th module is being the fearless woman that I know you're born to be. But how do we protect her? How do we make sure that she shows up for the rest of our lives? The 5th one is money. 5th module, we're going to talk about money because money is a relationship. People are like, oh, I don't mean the money. I'm scared of money. No, you actually need to have a relationship with money. I learned this, again, even recently and also a long time ago. I'm a woman that has made a lot of money, yet for whatever reason, I thought I was bankrupt, broke, and I'd be homeless on the street. And everything has now changed. I now don't even, like, I can't, I was just thinking about it now in the car. I used to be like so engrossed about the money, even though I made a lot of money. My recruiting business was very successful, but I never thought I was successful. It's terrible, the limiting beliefs. By the way, that's not me anymore. That's like, it's just not there. I'm not even needy for it. Like, I don't even, like, it's incredible. It's effortless. It's natural. So that's money. And the 6th module, which is my favorite, is the man, finding love, attracting a partner. And like, I'm going to go so deep. We're going to even talk about sex and orgasms because I don't know if you guys know, but I do have a boyfriend. And you see how I never really talk about him because I'm not needy for a man. Like, he's just a slice of my pie. But man, oh man, when you're with the right guy, I'm gonna put the link on the Facebook right now when we're done. I think my girl, I have a VA in Romania who helps me. So she was supposed to finalize it today with the credit card thing. It's gonna be $297. That's the promo I'm doing right now instead of $600. The next session, which I'll probably do in September, I think, will be more, obviously. We talk about sex. Will this be a program that people who are still married can participate in? Listen, I think anyone can participate in it. It may be hard, like people that are still married and going through divorce, they may not be ready for this information. It doesn't mean, listen, I respect money. I have great respect for money. I have paid personally thousands of dollars for programs. I'm doing this for $297 because it's more It's really a 6-module course. My vision on the 6 videos in the program will be an ongoing group coaching immersion. And we just keep repeat, rinse, repeat. So I think anyone can do it. I don't think it's going to hurt them. It will help them and maybe illuminate. But, you know, when we're in a state of divorce, sometimes we can't even think straight. So I don't know if the program will be ready for them. And I respect $1. So it's still $2.97. And, you know, I respect money very, very much. I always tell my kids, whether it's $1 or 1 million, it's the concept of the flower, right? You have to, we have a relationship with money. So you have to respect that dollar. We work hard to earn that money. We deserve that money, but we treat it just like we treat ourselves, with honor and respect. So I think, listen, this program doesn't exist anywhere because it is my program. It's what I went through. And you already see, guys, that I think very differently. I think very differently because I don't subscribe to the way of thought. I just don't, because it doesn't work. It didn't work for me. My marriage was emotionally so hurtful to me. I don't want that anymore. I wish somebody told me this in my 20s. But anyway, coulda, shoulda, woulda. But now we're doing impact for today and tomorrow. So Lisa will be live tomorrow. This will still stay by this group stays. Like, I'm still watering you, just like you guys are all my sunflowers, and I water you. I will change it up a little bit because the program will be Tuesdays and Thursdays. So you'll see the updated banner will change as far as my lives for next week. I still water each of you. I love to water you because you are going to be a field of sunflowers. You're going to be a field. Right now, you just might be one, but I visualize a field. In Israel, when I was in my 20s, we went camping in the mountains and we hit a sunflower field. And I see it sometimes on Instagram. It was so marvelous. And that's what I want for you. That's what I want for you. All right, guys, so I'm super excited. I'll post again about the program. It starts July 21st, which is 2 weeks from today, 2 p.m. And then Thursdays will be this is going to be a private Facebook group where we do the Q&As. It's 6 weeks. And I'm really, really excited about it. It's going to parlay into a whole universe, the Fearless Woman universe. So, guys, remember, validate yourself. You are worth it. Know that you are a gorgeous, hi Tammy, know that you are the sunflower, you are a rose, whatever flower you want to be. And make sure those around you don't pluck your flowers. They need to water your flowers. You know why? Do you know why they need to water your flowers? Because you're worth it. That's why. Ciao, Lisa, tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern. We will be hearing Lisa's story, okay, guys? And by the way, if any one of you is interested in sharing your story, you may even still be in the divorce. That's okay. But I mean, I'd like to hear the transformation, because there's women in the group that are still married, right? I talked to, because I remember those times when I was married and the fear was here and I was here, and that fear was like, I couldn't break through the fear until one day, of course, I broke right through it, because I'd rather be afraid and do it than not. So we want to share with our tribe members that that would be great to meet somebody face to face. Beautiful. That's what we're doing, Andrea. We're sharing. Lisa's starting tomorrow. I think Andrea came late. I'll post it. I think I did post it under announcements. Every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. That's the goal. Again, 2020 is testing. We test everything. It's called failing forward until we hit the jackpot. So every Wednesday at 1 p.m. I will be doing a live interview with a fearless woman from divorce, devastation to transformation. We want to hear about the stories. This is where you can connect even further, because guys, you're not alone. Don't forget that. Don't forget that. You're not alone. My mom today was so cute. She's 75. She's so cute. She works at Stein Mart. She made this mistake in her application because whatever, cute, she's getting $77 a week from her thing. Like, I support her. Like, I take care of my mom. I give her money every month. Doesn't matter. It's very important as a 75-year-old. Like, I stay away because I want her to know her worth. So she made a mistake in the application. She was panicking. She thought she was going to go to jail and this and that. We're talking $77. Real women, real stories. Yeah. But what happened with my mom, I told her, like, I said, you're not the only one filling the unemployment application. You're not the only one who's completely overwhelmed with what's happening in the world. You're not the only one. So it almost calmed her down. So that's what this is about. That's why I want to do the interviews on Wednesdays, a true live talk show where you guys can ask questions, because we're not alone. I know when I went through my divorce, I felt very alone because there was nothing like this. There's groups on Facebook that are for divorced women and men, but they're very toxic. I don't want that. I don't want toxic. I want empowerment. I want growth. I want to be transformed. I want to learn, because that's human nature. I don't want to blame and yell and scream and point fingers. That's what's exhausting. I don't want that, because that's draining. I want to use my anger to energy to fuel myself into becoming bigger and better, because that's life. That's life. 50% is good, 50% isn't good. That's life too. It says it in the Old Testament, right? What was it? Joshua had that dream, or the king had the dream about the, the drought and all that. And he talked about how there's good years and bad years. That's why you save money. Things go up and things go down. It's called life. So it's your journey. Make it count, guys. Be the driver in your life. Don't be the passenger. Be the sheep. Be the shepherd. Don't be the sheep. Both will get to their destinations, but one will be conscious and the other one won't. So I say choose you and bet on you. All right, guys. Ciao. Love you. See you tomorrow, Wednesday, 1 o'clock with Lisa Pritt in the house. And if you guys want me to interview you and show up, I know it's uncomfortable, but it's great. Please contact me. You can email me, Revi@fearlesswoman.co, or just send me a message on Facebook. I am checking. It's not something I've never done before. And I'm like, oh my God, all these people send me messages. I am sending it too. Or you can just, I'll even maybe put an announcement that if somebody wants to be interviewed, let me know. Okay, guys? If not, I'll come and find you guys. Okay. 56 minutes. Oh my God. Okay. Love ya. Bye, guys. Lisa, I sent you a message, a message in Messenger, tongue twister. So check it out. Bye, guys. Take good care.